Welcome to all sins and commandments alike. This is Griever, your guys' host as always, bringing you guys Dragon's Judgment, episode 8 of 7 Deadly Sins, the final season. Now, okay, this episode wasn't too bad, but in all honesty, what is it about the pacing? Like, I enjoyed the change up from the chronological order that the manga did for the Mayal reveal as Estarossa, etc., etc. It all blended together very well. Everything seemed to work well. But right here, maybe as a result of this, we didn't really spend a whole lot of time in Purgatory. They certainly didn't try to draw that out, because a lot of people really enjoyed the Purgatory arc, the little mini arc inside the main arc, following Wild Bond and, of course, Meliodas. And right here, it just seemed, I don't know, lackluster? Like, they didn't miss any necessarily key points of what went down, but it seemed like it just went a little too quickly. I don't know. Once again, they're trying to fit the last part, which I would argue they do not need to fit the last 30 chapters into the story whatsoever, goddamn ever. But for all intents and purposes, or at the very least the last 12, but they're trying to fit all these chapters into this, so I understand why they can pace this out better. But it just feels like, no, we can't spend any more time on Purgatory, even though everybody loves Purgatory, and the really dark overtones of it and stuff, and I understand it's Purgatory, but there's just something missing. It felt a lot more enjoyable, more like an adventure, more like a badass moment in the manga than it does here in this episode. I found myself getting a little bored, like when I was watching that first half. After that, it was sort of cool. It was a lot more fun. Maybe it's just the color scheme that's throwing me off. It's all very monotone in Purgatory, and maybe it's the color scheme direction and choice they made, that it was constantly going to be basically hell. They showed one shot of it turning to a blizzard again, and then that was it. Because in the manga, what we understood was it turns into a toxic wasteland, filled with green and purple, and then it's literally red and yellow hellfire, and then it's a total snow blizzard where it's all bright white and you can't see a thing and stuff. Then it's thunderstorms and rain and blues and a bunch of blue color. We got this idea that Purgatory would be one of the most colorful places because it changes on a dime. It changes on a coin flip, and you can go from the blackest of nights to the most whitest of snowstorms of all time, and everything in between that. So it just felt, maybe it was the monotone color. I'm not sure, because just honestly, as I said, I found myself getting a little bored at that later half because I knew where this was going to end up, and I just felt that the pacing is sort of, all right, let's get through this. I assume there's only 24 episodes, but if they were cut down on the bullshit that happened at the end of the manga and just totally got rid of that because it doesn't make any sense anyways and it's stupid, then we could have maybe paced this out a little better, added some filler scenes. It's one of the most hilarious things that has been happening in anime in the last 5 to 7 years, is that everybody from the 90s all the way to the late 2000s despises filler. Filler happened to all the big name animes and small names alike. Filler arcs, they were always usually badly written, usually just really boring, usually okay, they needed to do sex, they needed to nerf someone's power for that filler, and as an anime-only viewer, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, and then they had to add the filler characters that came about into the story, and a lot of that we didn't care for, right? We didn't enjoy that. But one of the big issues now is that they're trying to go panel by panel of a manga. The thing is that 19 pages of a fight in a manga lasts a hell of a lot longer than on-screen animated. And the problem is that they're not stretching it out like classic Dragon Ball Z used to. We need to see more of the fighting. We need to see more of the punches. We need to see this extended. We need to see the conversations being drawn out more. They need to talk more, heavier dialogue, longer conversations, more simple movements. Not okay, scene, 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 because it's a different media format. It's a different medium. So, and unfortunately here, we're really seeing that in spades here, because we just jumped 9 to 10 chapters worth of content is what we just did. Okay? because we had Wild sacrifice against... They first meet up with the Demon King. They get their ass kicked by the Demon King. They figure out the Demon King's ability. Bond gains Gift. They utilize this against the Demon King after losing like 6,000 times. It's been 60 years, 80 years, etc., etc. Then Wild transforms because they finally use Gift against the Demon King. They figure out the ruler. They get past him, only for him to thwart them. And then the Demon King, and then Wild has to use his ability, his final attack, Wild Full Throttle, against the Demon King. And then Bond and Meliodas escape, only for them to realize they're going in separate directions. And the Demon King once again reaches his hand down into the gateway to the mortal realm and snatches Meliodas. Meliodas says, "Don't worry, Bond, I guarantee you I'll get out of this." Bond believes him. He goes back, and Meliodas uses his original magical power, which once again is never really discussed at all, so don't hold your hopes up for what the hell that is. And all of this, think about all the points I just made. There was a lot of chapters. This is trying to cover half a volume in one episode, and it just doesn't feel right? It feels too quick, yet somehow boring. And I just don't know what it is about it. Because then Bond gets back, and this is not a bad part, even though I'm not into the whole lolly thing. I think that's creepy. Why can't Elaine stay in her adult form, for God's sakes? But anyways, Bond gets back through Hawk. We see that. Hawk and everybody is thrilled. Of course, Bond says, "I'll match up with you in a minute." I don't want to spoil anything else. I think I did a slight spoiler about Meliodas there. But I don't want to spoil what's going to happen here. However, I am going to argue that this decision making was extremely convenient on Bond's part, and we'll be able to discuss that later, probably by episode 10, maybe 11. But looking at the pacing, it'll be by episode 10. I'll be able to discuss why I think Bond made a bad call the moment he got back. But the point of the matter is that he says he's going to meet up with everybody else in Camelot. He just needs to go take care of something first. Of course, he wants to go use his newfound power of Gift, using his immortality as a trade-in for the revival. So Gift will allow him to completely give up his already OP immortality in exchange for one life. And honestly, power scaling wise, that's not broken because he's only immortal once. It was the Fountain of Youth. He gained the Fountain of Youth. He has Gift. Elaine is dead, but by using Gift to the maximum limit, more so if anybody else had this ability, it wouldn't work because it would zap all the life force before. But because Bond's immortal, all he's doing is giving up his immortality. He's not giving up his own life force or anything in exchange, like equivalent exchange from Full Metal Alchemist has now become a little broken at this point in that regard. Not exactly, it just evens out the scale, because you actually have sort of like using a Philosopher's Stone. Immortality is on this side just to bring back one person. So sort of working out in a weird type of way. But that's basically the end of the episode. And I don't mind it so much. It's a nice moment for a lot of Bond fans. Like, I'm a huge Bond fan. I'll probably use him as a thumbnail. And this was a point in the story where I really enjoyed Bond's character. He's coming full circle. He's finally met his goal. He has revived Elaine officially. Elaine is not just alive from the hateful curse of the dreaded dead, or the revenge dead, or whatever it was called, from Melasukla, whatever. And he's also given up his immortality, so there's another thing that's come full circle. And he's powerful as hell now. He's got Snatch and Gift. The subtitles seem to imply that he no longer has Snatch. I don't believe that's the case. I believe he can just use both Snatch and Gift now. Snatch basically evolved to a point. It improved because he was in purgatory for decades and decades and centuries in purgatory, because time works differently there. So his ability simply got better. That's fine. It's like the hyperbolic time chamber in Seven Deadly Sins. It works. But yeah, overall, the episode wasn't too bad. But as I said, I felt for some reason, even though the pacing was off, it still felt a little boring. And then I was sort of getting excited near the last 10 minutes of the episode, and then it ends off with just Bond saving Elaine. So, all right. I guess we're going through the motions now. We're trying to get everybody to meet up by episode 10. It seems like they want to get rid of all the individual storylines before the halfway point of the season. If they're trying to fit the rest of the manga into this, without cutting anything out, which there's plenty of stuff they could have cut out. But I can see that they would need to keep this pacing for that reason, but I think that's an honest mistake. So, knowing that, watching this episode, knowing that they're not going to fill anything out that needs filling out, that it doesn't appear like they're going to cut anything that's worth cutting, this episode blatantly showed me that, I can't expect too much, and so that's the reason why I'm going to give the episode like a 6, because what it implies to me is that there is going to be no filling out of major moments that should be, because there still are some great moments coming up in this season. There's some fantastic moments. There's some really good stuff that I don't want to spoil, and I feel like they should, maybe not use 3 panels, maybe they should use 3 minutes, to showcase how badass this is. But by the looks of it, they aren't going to do that, and that's really disappointing, and it never hit me more than in this very episode that is going to be the case. So, yeah, that's sort of why I didn't review this episode right away, guys. I reviewed it, and I really hated it. Like, I really didn't like anything that was going on, not necessarily in the episode, but what the episode was sort of representing for the rest of the season. And I did make a recorded video. It was like a 12-minute rant, and all it was me bashing on a lot of stuff. And I ended up, when I went through, I said, okay, well, they are my honest opinions after watching it. But then I realized I had a lot of manga spoilers unintentionally in that rant because I was frustrated. So this time I had to wait a few days, calm down, watch the episode again, and now we're here where I feel like I'm more level-headed. I'm still saying the episode, what it represents, is really bad, so it's 6 out of 10. And the first half, it should have been awesome, but I found it boring. Once again, maybe it was the color scheme. Everything had to be this purplish, reddish color overtone the entire time, and that was not what Purgatory was ever supposed to be. So, yeah, I feel a little cheated. I'm getting a little lackluster there. But yeah. So anyways, those are my thoughts on the episode, guys. I still think we're going to have some fire episodes going on later in the season. I'm just disappointed knowing, after watching this, and knowing that Purgatory, the Purgatory mini arc was some of the fan favorites, and realizing they didn't spend a whole lot of time, they didn't bother stretching it out, they didn't try to appease fans in any really cool way in that one instance. That has sort of shown me that they're not intending to do that for most other things either. So that just sort of hit me a little bit, a little disappointed. But this episode review will be out probably Monday or Tuesday before the Monday or Tuesday before the Wednesday episode. The Wednesday episode review might not be till Thursday anyways. I'm sort of busy this coming week, but it is what it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I hope you enjoyed the review. Like, comment, and subscribe as always. Don't forget to drink responsibly as always. And we are so close to 500 subscribers, guys. We are in the month of March, but I know we can do it. We are less than 10 subscribers away, last time I checked, to 500 subscribers. We get 500 subscribers. You guys know what happens. I drop a video. A video explaining that we're hitting 500 milestone, and you guys get to pick in the comment section down below. You guys get to decide what you want for a 500 milestone video, and then we'll just have to go from there. Do you want a top 10 character list? Do you want a top 50 manga? Do you want my top 5 anime moments of all time? What do you want me to give you guys to showcase 500 subscribers in a video format? That being said, hope you guys once again enjoyed the episode, even though I personally didn't really. But episode 9, still looking forward to it. So thanks, guys, for watching. Peace out.